Welcome everyone to Meld. CES starts tomorrow, but we're already getting some major announcements, and I've taken the next couple days off my day job to try and bring all of you the best news that comes out of the show. With that said, I mentioned it before, but to whoever hasn't heard, I unfortunately won't actually be there this year. I really wanted to is what sucks, but I got sick and honestly had some issues with my tonsils, so I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to talk. Plus, I've got a surgery coming up. With that said, I'm going to seriously try for next year as well as trying to make Computex this year. And of course, these trips are expensive, so if you're able, please consider donating to the Meld Patreon in the description to help me get there. Anyway, all of that out of the way, I've got a few stories today. First up, the RTX 2060 was announced. And it's pretty much exactly what we discussed in previous videos. It's got 6GB of GDDR6, 1920 CUDA cores, and a boost clock of 1680 MHz. So far, there's just the one 6GB model, so no 4 or 3GB versions, but of course that may come later. And many are pretty confident in an upcoming GTX 1160, which seemed to be solidified with the recent leak from Lenovo. As far as performance, the FPS with ray tracing I went over from video cards in a previous video seems to be what was given in the reveal. We also do have some third-party reviews, and they're pretty similar when it comes to FP32 compute or your typical gaming performance. That is to say that the 2060 is slightly more powerful than the 1070 Ti. As far as pricing, it comes in at $350 and will be released on January 15th, both of which were leaked previously. Now, one interesting thing that Nvidia is doing with this launch that wasn't leaked is that they're offering either Battlefield 5 or Anthem with your purchase of an RTX card. Given current GPU prices, that's really not a bad deal, but I'll definitely say that if you aren't interested in ray tracing, you'll probably be better off waiting for the possible GTX 1160, since it would basically be the same performance for less, just without ray tracing. Today's next story keeps us in the realm of Nvidia, but it's actually some pretty great news. And what seriously caught me off guard, the company has confirmed that they're going to start supporting monitors with adaptive sync for their G-Sync certification program. Basically, what that means is that Freesync monitors at least have the potential to work on Nvidia's graphics cards. So far, they tested over 400 monitors, and while only 12 have passed, they stated that the other monitors will have the option to turn on VRR. And basically, it may work, partially work, or not at all. Ultimately, though, it seems Nvidia is going to be pushing their tech, given they've got it put into 3 categories: G-Sync compatible, G-Sync, and G-Sync Ultimate. G-Sync compatible is where the adaptive sync monitor will sit. Still, it's at least a step in the right direction and ultimately one that leads to more options for gamers. Lastly for today, AMD launched their first 3000 series CPUs, or in this case, APUs, since these are the next generation mobile chips. Unfortunately, as previously leaked, these are based on Zen Plus, or the current generation 12nm chips. Of course, this isn't too surprising since they did the same with their last generation APUs. They were Zen 1, but because they had a couple things first gen Ryzen CPUs didn't, AMD went ahead and named them under the second generation name. Here's the list of announced chips, and as you can see, they're the expected jump from the previous generation. No added cores, but slightly higher frequencies. One odd thing is the similarities between the U and H variants. They're identical on paper except for the higher TDP of the higher power variants. I'm assuming they allow a little more headroom for overclocking or potentially just able to hold the boost clock for longer. I really don't know. Either way, AMD stated that new Ryzen based laptops will be announced at CES and launch in the first quarter of this year. So while that does it for today, make sure to subscribe for more CES coverage and let me know what you're most excited about seeing at the conference down in the comments below. And as always, have a great day.